What's good, guys? It's me, Jared the Weep, here back again with another video. Okay, this is what if Tanjiro would to ReZero Part 3. Okay, it's been a while since I made a video. My apologies. I also made a new Discord, but I don't know how to make a link to it. So, if someone in the comments could help me do it, that's why I've been trying to figure out how to upload, try to make a link. That's why I haven't uploaded. I wanted to upload yesterday, but I didn't, so my apologies. Like I said, I'm going to keep uploading, so no problem. Now let's get straight into the what if. Now, Subaru and Tanjiro were just about to fight the mob beast, and then Zenitsu comes out of nowhere and slashes at a mob beast, and this takes Tanjiro and Subaru off guard because they didn't know he was here. He just, yeah. Yeah, I didn't know. I ate some I'm choking on food. I ate some food before. Okay, anyway. So like I was saying, they didn't know Zenitsu would be there. And Inosuke's also there. And then Subaru gets a call from the Demon Corps from the past. They somehow are able to connect to his phone now. And he sees two descendants of Zenitsu and Inosuke. I call them Zen and then Josuke. See, it still works. Though both of them show up and say that the future is changing a little bit. They still defeat Musen. Musen. Yeah, they defeat him, but it's a lot more harder to do so because there's a lot more demons they still have to fight. That's what's happening to the future, and less of them are taking the cure to it. So, yeah, Subaru really needs to get Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke back to the past where they belong, so they don't have to keep fighting demons for another 100 years, or another one like Musen shows up. Now, Zenitsu is knocked out because he ran into Melee earlier, and he got scared by her, and he knocked himself out. And yeah, he goes into his crazy, frantic state, and everyone. Melee trapped all of the kids, but she didn't. Zenitsu was way too over. Yeah, he's overpowered when he's knocked out. And yeah, so all the kids were able to retreat back to the village. So that's why Tanjiro doesn't have to worry about the children or Subaru. And yeah, I'll explain how they got there very soon. Okay, anyway. So, yeah. So Zenitsu he keeps slashing at the mobbies that are close to the village. And Subaru just charges up an attack, and he feels he feels the witch's mask one. I'm gonna give Tanjiro and Subaru the witch factor, and Tanjiro doesn't feel anything yet, but Subaru does. He says moon first form, and for now on, every time Subaru uses the moon, his moon form, it only shows Satella's hands. So all the attacks are just hands for now on. Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, he shoots his first stop, the force form, and it's just Satella's hands. And he says, why are they hands just popping up? And he grabs all the mob beasts and squishes them to death. That Zenitsu didn't kill. And Zenitsu trips and wakes himself up, and he sees Tanjiro and goes to hug him. And Subaru keeps going into the forest to find who was the mob beast tamer. But as he goes into the forest, he sees Inosuke. Inosuke is fighting Melee. And Subaru shows up and he says, it's a child as the mob beast tamer. And he says, Mr. Inosuke, can you handle this? I'm going to defeat all of the rest of the mob beasts. And Inosuke says, "Sure, dude. I got this." And he says, "You might be." Oh, I gotta sound like Inosuke. You might be a. Wait. No, I can't. I can't make the Inosuke voice. His voice is too weird. I mean, English voice. Inosuke is pretty weird. Um, yeah, Inosuke just uses his two blades, and yeah, he doesn't use any of the other forms. He slashes. He keeps slashing at Melee, and she's barely able to dodge them. And Subaru finishes all of the mob beasts that are still there, and he says, "First form," and Moon. And yes, Satella's hands show up again. And Melee says, "It looks like Satella's witch factor." And yeah, this is what Melee says. And Subaru says, "So this is Satella's power." And he traps Melee pretty easily. And she keeps trying to call mob beasts, but they're all dead because of Zenitsu and Inosuke. They murder all of them pretty easily. And Inosuke says, "Thank you very much. Who are you, anyway? You're pretty strong." And Subaru says, "I am the Hashira of the future. I'm Subaru, the Moon Hashira." And Inosuke says, "So, what year are you from?" And yeah, Subaru says, 2030. And he says, "Oh, that's so cool. What's in the future? What am I like?" And Subaru says, "You're pretty much on your deathbed." This is what Subaru says to him. And Inosuke says, "Oh, well, at least I'm still cool. I'm alive." Hopefully, Inosuke's alive. I don't know if he dies in the manga or not. I'm pretty sure he's not. He's too OP. If he dies, I'm gonna cry. I know, actually would cry. Like, I was about to say I love Inosuke. No, I like him. Because he's so cool. Oh my goodness, I'm about to say something that was pretty sus. I ain't gonna lie. Luckily, I stopped myself. I guess I did. Okay, anyway, so Inosuke says, "Fine, okay, well, it's time for us to get back to the Demon Core." And he says, "Where are we?" And Subaru says, "We're in Lagunica. We'll take you back to the Roswell mansion so you can get your bearings, but we need to put up these ceilings so more mob beasts don't come back." And he says, there are different demons here. They're not human." And yeah, Tanjiro sees Inosuke walking back with him. And he says, "How did you guys get here?" And Zenitsu and... Oh my goodness. I'm getting heartburn. I don't know why. And Inosuke said they were surrounded by that purple maskma. Okay, I'm sorry. That you were surrounded by Tanjiro. And I can't put Tanjiro into this part because, like, the computer's not working with any of other photos. It took me a whole hour just to get this all set up. Yes, that's how slow it's loading. I need to get an upgrade. Actually, I'm gonna get an upgrade soon. You'll see in the future. So Inosuke says, "Well, our job's well done. It's time for us to go eat." And now it's over to Roswell. And Roswell sees this from a very far distance because he doesn't leave. Wait, I'm pretty sure he does. Yeah, he normally leaves around this time before the mobbies attack, and he's watching from a distance, and he says, "Yeah, they're very powerful. If all of them ganged up on me, this might be tougher than I thought." He's could just that Subaru is a lot stronger too. I don't know. My camp wouldn't be able to survive. He said, this is what Roswell was saying. Even with Beatrice, this might be tough. And he wonders, is he going to be able to manipulate Subaru into bringing back Ekidona? He tried to get Subaru to read more in the library and figure out about Ekidona, but he didn't figure it out because of the mob beast attack. He says, "Well, I'll have to hire other people to deal with this situation. Maybe he will have to choose. I have to get more powerful people to make him choose between saving the ones from the past and the people here, if he starts caring about these people. This is what he's saying. He's just trying to come up with a scenario from season 2, what to do because the Mob Beast, Tamer, Melee, and the Bow Hunters are gone. He needs to come up with other people to defeat them. And it's gonna be I'll tell you in the future, like in part 3 or 4. You'll figure out. But he flies back to the mansion and he sees that Tanjiro and Subaru, Inosuke, and Zenitsu are already there. And Nezuko is finally out the box again. And Zenitsu starts simping for, Ram, and Amelia when he sees them. And yeah, they just ignore Zenitsu, and yeah, he just starts crying. Inosuke says, "Why are there demons here?" And Subaru takes away Inosuke's swords, and he says, "I'll still fist fight them." And Roswell says, "If you fist fight them, you won't be able to stay in the mansion." And he says, "Subaru, Tanjiro, who are these people?" And Tanjiro says these are his demon slayer friends from his time period. They said they were captured by the witch's mask, and we don't know why is she bringing us here. She must be planning something. And Subaru also says he can use these hands. And Roswell says, "The witch's hands? Really? Can you show it to us right now?" And Amelia wants to see this too. She asks Subaru to show this. And he uses his first form and shows one hand coming out. And he says, "Oh my, this is very interesting." And yeah, this changes Roswell's very opinion. He needs to keep them around for a very long time. They could come in handy for his plan at the end. I don't know what plan he wants to do. I'm pretty sure he wants to revive the dragon or something. So, I don't know. We'll figure out in the future. If I'm still making YouTube in 10 years. Hopefully I am. I'll at least try to make it for at least 10 years. Hopefully. Hopefully. I said hopefully. And yeah, everyone wants to figure out how Subaru is able to use the hands. And they try to figure out and start testing it the next day after. And everything goes normal for the royal selection, but Subaru is there. And Amelia told this Subaru not to go, but he still went. But he doesn't act a fool when everyone's being evil or mean to her. And he says, "You guys are just weird." He says this in the muffle of his breath. And a knight hears Subaru say something. He says, "What is your name? Come forward. You said something under your breath." And Amelia says, "What did he say?" And Subaru says he's a Hashira who's working with Amelia's camp. And he says, "You guys are just weird. That's all I said." And he tries to go back to his spot. And this is his first time Julius is saying something to him. He says, "You cannot say anything like that. You're going to have to do service or go into a duel with one person." And he says, "Oh, just shut the..." He says, "Shut up, kid." He calls Julius a kid because he's a lot older than him. And he says, "You guys can't even touch me. I've trained many years in my in battle and killing people too. I'm pretty sure you guys don't have nothing on me. I'm not afraid of any of you." And he never met Reinhardt. I don't know if Reinhardt's still powerful than Subaru. We don't know. He has the witch's hands and stuff. So I don't know if he would be equal to Reinhardt or not. Who knows? And Subaru says this, and Amelia starts to get embarrassed, but he doesn't like. Yeah, this Subaru doesn't confess his love because he ain't like that. He's not a simp. He says everyone's just being rude to her for no reason. And Reinhardt says, you really need to be quiet. And Julius says he'll fix this, Reinhardt, and he challenges Subaru to a battle. And the battle actually happens, and they fight each other. And he says, "I'll go easy on you." This is what Subaru's saying. And Julius tries to land a hit on him, but Subaru just dodges all of them. But as soon as Julius got the upper hand in the battle, Subaru used his first form so he could dodge the hit. And he actually tried to use his moon sword, but Satella's hands came out. And everyone's seen it. And everyone was like, she is a part of that witch. Why would they even let her run? And Subaru tries to pull it back in, and yeah, allows himself to be punched. And Subaru says he concealed because he's messing up Amelia's chances of becoming a leader, and he knows how it feels to be put into a tough situation and not being able to do anything because of his parents dying, and he doesn't want to mess up Amelia anymore. And yeah, something similar happens. She says she doesn't want him at the mansion for a while. She gets angry with him for doing that. And Subaru understands and he just stays put. He's not angry, he's just sad that he said something. He just said they were weird and they got all offensive. And a couple of days went by and Subaru decided he should be able to apologize to Amelia, and he takes the next carriage back to the Roswell mansion, and it's Otto's carriage. And yes, he goes into the carriage with Otto. And I know, yes, this Subaru looks a lot much younger. He's a lot older. So I'm pretty sure you remember the photo from the first, yeah, the second part. That Subaru. Anyway, as he's returning back, it starts to get dark, and he sees the white whale, and he says, "Is that the white whale I see?" And he tries to pull out the first form, but then the carriage got destroyed by the white whale, and he tries to get Otto to get back in the carriage so he can protect him, but Otto tries to run away, and Otto punches Subaru in the face, and he says, "I'm not gonna die here. You need to escape." And yeah, so that's why he punches Subaru right in the face, and Subaru says, "I can kill the thing pretty easily. Just stay here with me. I don't know where to go to the Roswell mansion. I just need your help." And Otto runs away and gets killed by the white whale. And Subaru doesn't. He doesn't know where the white whale is. He says, if I would have brought Tanjiro here, he would have been able to. He can only sense. He can only sense things. Like, I guess he's like Inosuke. He can sense them, but he can't smell them or hear them. So he says, "Okay, going all out." He uses his 10th form, and it releases 100 hands, and they all puncture the white whale pretty easily. And Tanjiro is back at the Roswell mansion, but you'll see what happens to him. And Subaru says, "Oh, that was a lot more easier than I thought." He pulls the white whale closer to him, and he starts smashing it into the ground. And he says, "Second form of the moon," but two hands just keep popping out. He says, "Why are my moon forms not working properly?" And he just starts to get angry, and he keeps relying on his 10th form. He can use 11th form and 12th form. I think it can go up to 11th, but he also has a 12th form. But now that I'll save that until he fights one of the witches. Not the witches, the archbishops. One of them. I'll save that form for him. He then starts to stretch the whale out so it can just die. You can split it in half, but the whale splits in two. Yeah, like, this would be so cool. It would be like he's fighting the white whale at night. I wish I could show it, but all the pictures are not showing up. So sorry about that. Anyway, as Subaru is fighting the white whale, it splits up into three, and Subaru starts shooting more hands into the ground so they could trap one of the whales, the first whale, because he thinks it's the original whale, and he uses his 11th form this time, and 200 hands come out, and he then traps the white whale, all three of them, back into the one body, and that is enough strength to rip the white whale in half, and Subaru cuts it all the way around and cuts it. He then says, "Oh my goodness, I actually defeated that thing." And he takes the white whale's eye as a trophy, and he walks back to the Roswell mansion, and he says, "It's going to be a while." And as he walks back, it takes him a day to get back there. He sees that the sun is starting to set, and as he's walking into the village, yeah, it's that. He sees lots of dead bodies and carcasses, and he sees Nezuko's box, and he says, "What the heck happened here?" And he sees Nezuko is still inside, and he says, "Tanjiro, where are you?" And he sees, "What happened? Tanjiro, where are you?" And he says it again, but he doesn't. He says it again. Okay, my brother was coughing. Anyway, when he says it again, that's why I repeated myself, because he was coughing, and I forgot what I was about to say. He sees Inosuke. What the heck happened here? And he sees Nezuko is still inside, and he says, "Tanjiro, where are you?" And he sees, "What happened? Tanjiro, where are you?" And he says it again, but he doesn't. He says it again. Okay, my brother was coughing. Anyway, when he says it again, that's why I repeated myself, because he was coughing, and I forgot what I was about to say. He sees Inosuke is dead in a corner at a house. He's been punctured in the stomach multiple times, and in his throat. Then he sees Rem and Zenitsu's body. Yeah, you can see Rem's body on the floor over there, and he sees Zenitsu's eyes were crying, and his tongue and throat were slit. And he says, "How were they defeated so easily? Who could have done this? I failed. There's no way this couldn't have happened." Subaru is in so much shock. He picks up Nezuko's box, and he keeps walking. And he starts to notice that it's starting to snow. And he says, "Why is it snowing all of a sudden? The hell is this?" This is what Subaru is saying. He said, "I really have to watch this again. It's just Nezuko and I again." And he can't even speak to her. This is what he's saying. He says, "Don't worry. I'll figure something out. We just gotta make sure Tanjiro's alright. And then we can fix it at least. Maybe nothing else will be changed." And Subaru gets closer to the mansion. He sees Amelia's dead corpse, and he sees Rom's dead corpse around Amelia, and you also see. Oh my goodness! How did I forget her name? What is it? Oh my goodness! How did I forget her name? Oh, Petra. Yes, Petra is. Yeah, it took me a minute, like, to remember it. Yeah, she's also dead too, around Amelia. But you should only be able to see Amelia's dead corpse. Then he sees Rem and Zenitsu's body. Yeah, you can see Rem's body on the floor over there. And he sees Zenitsu's eyes were crying, and his tongue and throat were slit. And he says, "How were they defeated so easily? Who could have done this? I failed. There's no way this couldn't have happened." Subaru is in so much shock. He picks up Nezuko's box, and he keeps walking. and he starts to notice that it's starting to snow. And he says, "Why is it snowing all of a sudden? The hell is this?" This is what Subaru is saying. He said, "I really have to watch this again. It's just Nezuko and I again." And he can't even speak to her. This is what he's saying. He says, "Don't worry. I'll figure something out. We just gotta make sure Tanjiro's alright. And then we can fix it at least. Maybe nothing else will be changed." And Subaru gets closer to the mansion. He sees Amelia's dead corpse, and he sees Rom's dead corpse around Amelia, and you also see. Oh my goodness! How did I forget her name? What is it? Oh my goodness! How did I forget her name? Oh, Petra. Yes, Petra is. Oh, yeah. It took me a minute, like, to remember it. Yeah, she's also dead too, around Amelia. But you should only be able to see Amelia's dead corpse.